we have a culture essentially that has literally designed itself to offer things like human abortions and pet adoption for basically free, right? So you can kill a baby and adopt a pet for basically free, while hospital birth of a child and human adoption is like tens of thousands of dollars. So what we have is a society that rewards people with convenience and the removal of financial barriers when it comes to killing children and acquiring a pet for its citizens, and it burdens those same civilians when it comes to adopting or caring for children. And so we have something that's going on even systematically in our culture. Essentially, what I'm trying to say here is that in America, we are disincentivizing a culture of children and promoting a culture of pets. That's really at the core of our, societal ethos right now, or our legal system, or our financial system, or our social system at the very least. And so we have things that are changing all around us in regards to pets. We have pets on planes and in grocery stores now. We have pets in strollers, and we have pets in car seats now. We have pets with insurance policies and annual dental work. We have doggy daycares. We have dog sitters. We have vegan dogs. We have pets named after their grandparents. That was a real thing I saw online. We have dogs that take Xanax and organic supplements. We have pets that have birthday parties. We have people calling themselves dog moms and dog dads and referring to themselves or their pets as fur babies. On top of that, we actually have a market. I think the global market share that I saw online for pet clothing was $5 billion for pet clothing. And so to not see the culture's movement to view pets as the replacement for children is just utter blindness. I mean, this is certainly happening right before our eyes. Doug Wilson said in a video on this topic, he says, quote, "People are projecting onto their pets sentiments and affections that ought to be rendered toward a child," end quote. This is certainly what we're seeing. We have a culture that has elevated animals to a place of intrinsic value or esteem that is reserved strictly for humans. And it's not that we should reject the care for pets. We like pets. The problem is not the animal here. But what we're having is that people are prioritizing them over children and then raising them to this societal status where they have equal care, protection, and dignity before the law or before at least the cultural theme of the day. And what this does is it actually makes, when you elevate animals to be essentially the same as humans, you essentially say that humans are animals. And that's really what's behind this way of thinking for this community that's pushing this movement. Bible-believing Christians are not the ones that are aggressively driving the movement of pet idolatry in our culture. It's really the liberals and the atheists that are doing that. The truth is, pets and humans are not the same. They're not the same. Humans are made in the image of God. Pets are not. Humans have eternal souls. Animals do not. Humans will experience the resurrection of their bodies. Animals will not. Now, I know there's a big discussion on, will there be animals in heaven? I believe there will be animals in heaven. I don't believe every animal that ever lived on earth will be resurrected and be in heaven because we have the restored heavens and the earth. This earth will actually be restored. I believe that God will actually have animals in the new heavens and new earth, but I don't think it's going to be the animals that we had on this earth. And so this is important to just see as an overarching theme because our death cult culture is rapidly decreasing the value of human life. And one way that they're doing that is by elevating the life of animals to be essentially equal to the life of humans. In a study mentioned by Dennis Prager, 40 to 50% of people said that they would save their dog over a stranger in a life-threatening situation. Again, this just simply illustrates the misprioritized station our culture is nurturing around pets. And it shows, again, us rendering those sentiments and affections that Doug was talking about toward animals in an improper way. According to the World Animal Foundation, the pet care market is worth $207 billion around the globe, but the U.S. citizens actually, this is a fun fact, outspend the rest of the world on pets. $123 billion per year we spend on pets. The UK pet owners, I believe this stat is right, only are spending about $7.5 billion. That was double, however, since 2005 in the UK. China spent $31.89 billion. Europeans spent around $21.2 billion, and Australians spent $30.7 billion. But again, we have $123 billion per year that America is spending on the pet industry. I also heard a quote that there are now more pets in Portland, Oregon, and Seattle and San Francisco than there are children. That obviously makes sense. That shouldn't probably shock anyone because nobody's getting married anymore, nobody's having kids anymore because we are living in a society that is incredibly selfish. And so it makes me think of a quote by Leonard Ravenhill, who said this probably 70 years ago. He was born in 1907. So, in the middle of his ministry, I'm thinking is maybe in the 1950s, but he says, quote, "Today, Christians spend more money on dog food than missions," end quote. Honestly, I would not be shocked to learn that the average Christian spends more money on their pet than they do giving to their church or giving to the poor or supporting missions or other parachurch ministries around the world. Pets have truly become an idol in this generation, and it has certainly influenced Christians in the church because we're not questioning why we're doing some of these things in the culture. Previous generations would look at this as radically strange, odd behavior. People are literally satisfying their need for love, this desire for love with their pets. They become essentially the replacement figures of spouses or children, or in some cases, God. They literally wake up, the priority of their day is to care for their dog and to receive love from their dog and to give love to their dog. And again, they're reprioritizing where that love should be focused upon something that is not the object of right affection. And so this is a multifaceted problem. So I know that you're thinking about all the reasons why these things happen, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But 1 John 2:15 reminds us, it says, quote, "Do not love the world or the things in the world," end quote. Now, I'm going to make a case that things in the world could include creatures that were made that are not humans. I'm thinking that things in the world could include a cat or a dog. It is a creature, and we shouldn't be worshiping or idolizing the creature ever. All of our affection and worship and focus should be going towards God primarily.